of me. Run through the land, you run through my soul. Bring me wisdom and peace. Run through all ages and all of life's stages. You bring me around to find my release.
Hi, this is Jan Lewis. Welcome to be my guest. Today we have Jeff Snow with us, and Jeff is from Wilbraham, Massachusetts. Well, near Wilbraham. You're in Springfield, right?
No, I live in Wilbraham.
Oh, so he's in Wilbraham. We found out that we went to the same high school when we were a year apart. How's that? And we never ever met, and we're both Scottish, at least on one side of the family, right? Definitely my father's. Was it your mother or father's?
Both.
Oh, wow. Wow. You're a Scotty.
I am.
He's a good Scotty. Jeff is a Celtic musician, and he was telling me that he went to Curry College, majored in business.
Yes.
How long did you stay in business before you decided, oh, I'm going to become a musician?
Probably too long.
Were you an executive?
I was not good at that.
Yeah.
So
You're an entrepreneur, right?
I decided I would go off and do something else, and my father made sure that I understood that this was a business
Yeah.
and not just a hobby that I was going to go out and try and make money with.
Yeah, he sounds like my dad. He had his ideas, and that was it. If you're going to leave college, you're not coming home to just stay around. He gave me two choices, and I had to choose one. Wasn't a lot of fun. I knew which one he really wanted me to do. I'm like you. I went into business, and I'm like, I'm not really happy with 8 to 5 corporate. Boring. Yeah. All right, now he's going to play for us. It's your favorite song and the one you're known most for. Which one is that?
The song is called Kilkelly, Ireland, and it tells the story of a young man named John Hunt. John Hunt came to America in 1855 from Kilkelly, Ireland, and settled in Aberdeen, Maryland. And he spent the rest of his life in Aberdeen, Maryland, never went home, never saw his family back in Ireland again. When John Hunt came here in 1855, he was 13 years old. And there was no communication back then. There were no cell phones, there were no landline phones. There were no ways to reach out to each other and check and see what was going on in the different lives. The only way that they could do that was with the annual family letter. So every year, John Hunt's father, Brian, would go next door to the schoolmaster's house, and he would dictate to him the comings and goings of the family, who got married, who got a job, who died. All of the things that we would do today with a text message, they did once a year with the annual family letter.
Who in the family would usually write that? The mother or the father?
The father would go next door and dictate it to the schoolmaster, because Brian Hunt could neither read nor write.
Okay.
So the man, Pat McNamara, who lived next door, would write this down and just mail it off to John. And every letter ended with a request for John to come home and see his family again. And he never did. And that was very sad.
Why didn't he? Did he pass away?
No, he never did. History doesn't tell us why he never came home.
Yeah.
But in this 1970s, the letters were found. They had been saved all of those years.
Yeah.
And a man named Peter Jones took the letters, there's 22 of them, and he turned them into the story of the Hunt family that we call the Ballad of Kilkelly, Ireland.
My best friend growing up, her last name was Hunt. This is just too much with this guy. All righty, go ahead.
Kilkelly, Ireland, 1860, my dear and loving son John. Your good friend, the schoolmaster Pat McNamara, so good to write these words down. Your brothers have all gone to find work in England. The house is so empty and sad. The crop of potatoes is sorely infected, a third to a half of them bad. Your sister Bridget and Patrick O'Donnell are going to be married in June. Your mother says not to work on the railroad. Be sure to come on home soon. Kilkelly, Ireland, 1870, my dear and loving son John. Hello to your missus, to your 4 children, may they grow healthy and strong. Our Michael has got in a wee bit of trouble. I don't think that he'll ever learn. Because of the dampness, there's no turf to speak of. We have nothing to burn. Bridget is happy and named the child for her. You know, she's got 6 of her own. You say you found work, you don't say what kind. When are you coming home? Kilkelly, Ireland, 18 and 80. Michael and John, my sons. I'm sorry to give you the very sad news. Your mother's passed on. We buried her down at the church in Kilkelly. Your brothers and Bridget were there. You don't have to worry, she died very quickly. Remember her in your prayers. It's so good to hear that Michael's returning with money he's sure to buy land. The crop has been poor and the people are selling at any price that they can. Kilkelly, Ireland, 18 and 90. My dear and loving son John, I suppose that I must be close on to 80. 30 years you've been gone. Because of all of the money you sent me, I'm still living out on my own. Michael has built himself a fine house. Bridget's daughters are grown. Thank you for sending your family picture. They're lovely young women and men. Why don't you think about coming to visit? A joy to see you again. Kilkelly, Ireland, 18 and 92. My dear brother John, I'm sorry I didn't write sooner to tell you that father is gone. He was living with Bridget. She said he was cheerful, healthy right up to the end. You should have seen him play with the grandchildren of Pat McNamara, your friend. We buried him alongside of Mother down at the Kilkelly churchyard. He was a strong and feisty old man, considering his life was so hard. It's funny the way he kept talking about you. He called for you at the end. Why don't you think about coming to visit? We'd all like to see you again.
That is a good. That song is about 4 or 5 minutes long. You said.
Yes.
That's where you were the most known for playing when you appear somewhere.
Yes.
Where have you been, Jeff? Where have you been appearing?
I traveled the Northeast.
All over the lot.
Yes. Yeah. I just finished my Christmas tour a couple of weeks ago.
Where'd you go?
That was 20 concerts in 21 days in 7 states.
Do they put you up in a hotel?
No, I make all my own travel. I do all my own travel.
You do your own travel?
I book my own travel, yeah.
Where did you go? What states were you in?
The 6 New England states in New York.
Oh, my God. That's a lot in 28 days?
21 days.
21 days.
21 days, yes.
Weren't you exhausted?
Yes. Yeah, I didn't touch an instrument for about a week when I got home.
How are people finding out about you, John?
The magic of the internet.
Well, yeah. How, by the way, how can they reach you?
I have a website. It's jeffsnow.net. And on the website, you can find all kind of interesting things about me and where I've been and what I'm doing and what I play and how I do it. And the song that I just played, the Kilkelly, Ireland song, has its own page on the website. And on that page, you can read a transcription of the first and last of the 22 letters. So you can get a little flavor of what was actually happening in Ireland back then.
Did your father know that you went into the? I mean, he knew, but did he know how successful you'd be?
No, because my father unfortunately died in 1982.
He was young.
He was very young.
Oh my God! Is your mom alive still?
No, she's not. No.
She's not.
No.
Now, you also brought the harp,
I did.
like a little harp. What was it called again?
This is an auto harp.
An auto harp.
An auto harp. And auto harps may be familiar to some people as an old school teacher's instrument.
Yeah.
It looked very different than this and sounded very different than that, but the instrument started as a school teacher's instrument.
Yeah.
And it's designed to be played with a guitar pick and strummed, like a rhythm instrument.
Yeah. I like that. That's good.
But somewhere in the 1980s, somebody decided that there must be a harder way to do this.
Yeah.
So we finger pick it, much like you finger pick a guitar or a banjo.
Yeah. Where do you buy something like that? Music?
You can buy an auto harp in a music store or online. This is a handmade harp.
Did you make it?
No. There are about 5 custom harp builders in the world, and this was made by one of them.
In Scotland, I know bagpipes. In Ireland too, but was the auto harp popular in Scotland?
No, it wasn't. And
where did it originate from?
it actually came from Switzerland and Austria. Yeah, it came over to America in the late 1800s as a zither, and,
Wow.
and it was Americanized into the auto harp.
Was it hard to learn? I wouldn't think, because you're so used to picking on the guitar. Was it pretty?
It's easy to strum because you just push down the buttons and strum it. It's pretty challenging to finger pick because there's 36 strings.
Is it like a piano on one side where you press the? Oh, wait a minute. You're pressing on one side, right?
As I push the button down, you can see that the pieces of felt go down and sit.
Yeah, hold it up so people can see it, Jeff. Hold it up. Get the camera zooming in on it. There you go.
And the felt sits on some of the strings, and it stops those strings from ringing and allows the rest of them to ring. So when I do this, it sounds very pretty.
Yeah.
But if I do the same thing slowly,
No.
you can hear that about half the strings aren't ringing.
Is that like those buttons that you push? Is that like a bass or an alto or something like that?
No, it's just it creates a musical chord.
I love that. Yeah.
So the trick is when you're finger picking it, is to hit the strings that are going to ring and miss the ones that are going to go click.
Okay.
That becomes the hard part.
Was it hard to learn?
It took me about 1.5 years to learn how to just finger pick this, and I was already finger picking other instruments.
Did you say? Was I get this right? That you're teaching music too?
I also teach guitar privately.
Where are you teaching?
I teach in Wilbraham out of my home.
Now, if anybody's interested in taking classes, how would they reach you?
Through the website, jeffsnow.net.
It could be easier than that. Oh, I can't believe you. I took guitar when I was raised in Wilbraham. We went to Springfield for that, so I don't even remember the guy's name. He was an older man, and I got tired of piano and took guitar and got tired of that. But you didn't. Play something for us on this. We're talking with Jeff Snow, and he is a Celtic musician.
This is a tune that was written by a man named George McIntyre. George McIntyre is a Scottish gentleman, came from Campbellton, Scotland, which is on the west coast. And he went off in World War II to fight the Great War. And he was captured and held in a prisoner of war camp. And he spent his time in the prisoner of war camp playing bagpipe tunes in his head because he was a piper in the local village bagpipe band.
Yeah.
And while he was there, he wrote a tune. And when we got back to Campbellton, he taught it to the lads in the bagpipe band. And it's now played regularly over in Scotland. It's called The Hills of Argyll.
All right. love it. It's not. Is it called the Ballad of Scotland? What is that?
Scotland the Brave.
Scotland the Brave. I have always loved that. You know, that's what most of the. You know, when you see a band and they're marching and they're drumming. When that's the greatest urge to get out and go with them. Do you get that too? It's
I do.
something.
I do.
Something about the bagpipes. I don't know. And long before I thought you found out I was Scottish. It just drew me in. Do you ever try playing the bagpipes too?
I tried it once briefly.
Is it hard?
And that was more octopusy than I wanted to get. There's a lot of things
many
going
years
on.
ago, we had a young man who had been on here. He had come over from Scotland 10 years before. He made, I don't know how, but he made his own bagpipes. I don't know how, but he did pretty well. He really did. Now, Jeff,
Yes.
that and the guitar. Now, do you also play piano?
No.
No. Anything else?
I play the stringed instruments. In concert, I will play the guitar, the auto harp, and I'll play a bouzouki, which is a Celtic stringed instrument.
What is a bouzouki?
Bouzouki is, it looks like a really big, fat mandolin.
Like
Well, it's a big round body, and it's probably 3.5 to 4 feet from top to bottom.
almost sounds like an Indian.
It's about the size of something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a Celtic instrument.
Drums. And you said you played the drums in the band at high school.
Yes.
That's amazing. Going to the same high school, about the same time, you're playing in the band, and I'm up on the stage. We never met each other. Never. Was it Mr. Killam who was the orchestra leader? Was it Dwight Killam?
No, it was Charlie Beeler. Was the
Charlie
swing-
Bueller.
Charlie Beeler.
Killam might have been.
I think he's a choir person.
Yeah, maybe he was. It's funny. I remember these names. Oh my gosh! Now, where are you going to be appearing? Where are you coming up next?
I'm actually in the midst of some downtime before I start the Celtic season rush. A couple of weeks off in January, and then I start poking my nose out again around the end of January, first part of February.
Till when?
Till I stop playing, I suppose.
Do you take the summer off at all?
No, I don't. But in March, I am busier than I am in Christmas time.
Why is that?
Celtic season.
I didn't know that.
Celtic St. Patrick's season.
Oh, St. Patrick's. Okay, I
St.
didn't.
Patrick's season.
I didn't
Yeah.
put it together.
Yeah.
Yeah, now, your family came over from Scotland when, I'm just learning a lot about this, when they pushed a lot of people, Scots, out because the landlords were trying to take that land, right?
They were trying to reclaim their own land. It's called the Highland Clearances.
Yeah.
And
Sounds like a clearance sale in my, like the gold.
it was a bit like that, and it was probably about as well organized as that. But they killed a lot of people. They burned their houses down. And those that resisted were just shipped out of the country. They were put on ships and sent away.
Okay, and you said, like, true in my own family, to Nova Scotia and North Carolina.
Yes.
Both places that
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the North Carolina part was because the topography of the Appalachian Mountains was reminiscent of the topography in the Highlands of Scotland. And there was already some Scottish settlements there. I believe you said you were in Monroe.
We have Monroe and Jocelyn and Lewis.
Well, Bill Monroe, the father of bluegrass, his family came in the Highland Clearances and settled in the Appalachian Mountains, and they brought the music with them that we know today as bluegrass.
That sounds like the Jocelyn heritage. Was it Monroe, or there's a lot of variation?
No, he was an Monroe.
Yeah. There's people have changed it. Mun, M-U-N,
Right.
all kinds. Were they all part of the same clan?
Probably.
I would think so.
Probably.
So you tell me, he had a great story about you. Your son. Well, who gave you the gift, or you gave your son the gift of an ancestry?
Well, my son gave me the gift of an ancestry test, and
At Christmas, you opened that up.
it was my birthday a year and a half ago, and I am 83% Scottish.
Yeah.
The 17% that is left over, a great deal of that comes from Norway and the Scandinavian countries.
Yeah.
And Norway invaded Scotland twice over the years, and they were there for 100 years each time.
Yeah.
So there's pretty much Norwegian blood in everybody that's in Scotland today because of
My husband is so sure that I look more like, well, what do you call it? Not Norwegian. The invader. The Vikings, the ones with the
the Vikings.
yeah, the Vikings.
So you'll get a lot of Viking type blood
Oh.
in those tests because
Why in Scotland were you part of a clan? You read Lewis, and then it goes part of MacLeod, and Harris. I lived right next to a Harris family, never even knew it. Here,
the branches of the tree.
Oh, play us one more song, Jeff. I'd love to hear it. What can you play us?
Let's do Let's play the one that they play at the end of many evenings in Scotland.
Okay.
And you'll hear it a lot this time of year. You'll hear it on New Year's Eve. And it was believed to have been written by Robert Burns.
Oh, yeah.
And it was not. It was not. But it was a song that Robert Burns found when he was wandering around Scotland, collecting poems and collecting songs.
Poems. What did he have to do with the music?
And he found this, and he turned it in with a bunch of his poems, so he gets credit for it. But in an interview in a biography of Robert Burns, it says he picked it up from some old Scot somewhere.
Okay.
You know, it's
all right.
And Robert Burns' birthday is coming up in another 2 weeks, so January 25th.
Almost play that as a lullaby at night for children. Did you ever do that with your grandchildren? Play that for them as a lullaby?
My little 15-month-old grandson will crawl into my music room and point to the harp and just sit on the floor. Point at it till I pick it up and play it.
He's on to you.
He is. He's figured me out.
We've been talking with Jeff Snow, and he's a Celtic musician. And Jeff, one more time before we close, how can people reach you if they'd like to have you come play?
Easiest way to find me is www.jeffsnow.net.
And he has his own, he teaches, so you teach guitar in your home in Wilbraham.
Yes.
How long did it take you to get here, about an hour and a half?
An hour and 20 minutes, yes.
Mass Pike, right?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. I can't get over it. We went to the same high school where you're a part. Oh, my God. Thank you for coming. We'll have you back on again.
Thank you.
I think my favorite song of all, though, is Scotland the Brave. Oh, there's something about that song. I got to get out there and march.
Yes.
Do they ever have you march in any of the bands during the holidays?
You can't really march with these, but no.
No, but with your... No, yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
You could probably...
I could dig out a drum out of the basement and march along, but...
I wonder if that's why my grandfather used to always make believe he was playing a drum. You said it was Scottish.
Perhaps, yeah.
And I took drum lessons not long ago. I don't believe this. I can talk to him all day. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Jan. Thank you.
All right. See you next time and be my guest.